Coming to you live via the interwebs, riding on the backs of 3,000 cats per second. You are, in fact, watching Ben Live. Hi there, your growth hacker. Sorry, it's been a minute. My bee. I was having some fun. Lots of fun. Doing some Node.js work. Node.js. Don't know why I could not say that correctly the other... Oh no, it was socket.io. I was having trouble saying the other day. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Periscope here as well today. Did a Periscope broadcast last night with the kittens. Hope you tuned in for that. Hope you've been enjoying the Periscope as much as we have. Live on Ben Live. And we will go to our emojis, because we like using emojis on the Periscope for some reason. And we're going to go just the TV to the phone. Live on Ben Live, TV to phone. Start that broadcast as well, which that should actually tweet that out for us. And, sorry Twitter. Hope you saw the first tweet, the auto tweet on the Periscope. Hi. So anyway, YouTubes, been fun working on the Node.js stuff, trying to bring together that full stack JavaScript development approach that I've been talking about for since the beginning. I think at the very beginning, when the idea of a broadcast was presented itself, Node was on the to-do list. I think I had just gotten the lifetime membership to the site point, and I had worked on, done the Git introduction, and I'd done the Agile introduction, and decided that I would go ahead and apply the Agile methodology to the personal deliverable, my own minimum viable product, as my own work hour. And from there, I've been doing a lot of broadcast, web-based sort of work. I'm really refining this minimum viable product. As you can see right now, I think the encoder is being put through the paces, so you might be getting a little bit of a frame lapse there. If you're seeing something similar to what I am, no, so far I'm showing 0%, so maybe that's just my monitor that's dropping out. So that's good. Hope the encoder's holding strong for you. But yeah, you're seeing an ongoing enhancement project here. And in the last few days, I haven't really been broadcasting live because I've been doing some personal enhancements through Node, trying to expand the JavaScript offering. And you will see that the domain, benlive.tv, you will see the domain getting the upgrades and the enhancements. And we're doing a full rebuild. It's going to be a JavaScript back to front and then, back again. And that's... it's very possible. It's very doable, and I use PHP currently to build these sorts of backends for the web applications. But utilizing JavaScript, utilizing that single language throughout, that's going to be a real benefit moving forward. When we start getting other collaborators on the project, especially. But just to really focus in, I obviously, I dabble in a number of languages. Part of the, the growth hacking approach, you have to be familiar with a number of platforms and things like that. And so it'll be nice to just really focus in on JavaScript for a while. That's going to be, I don't know, I think it's important, obviously, to freshen up on the HTML5 and the CSS3. It's good to be current there. But JavaScript now seems to be really taking a foothold because it's the extendability and the backwards compatibility and the reusability. It's all there already. So because this language has sort of evolved with the web browsing technology, what better scripting language to use? I mean, obviously, I already have experience utilizing JavaScript in order to have interactivity, in order to have the interaction level on any web application, website, any web service that's being built. Probably going to have JavaScript on the front end. So with this next iteration of the domain, we're going to see it throughout. So I've been working on the Node stuff. I consider doing some more Angular. I had to do a little bit of Angular work just to implement the Node. I guess I can get more into detail with that. In fact, I'll bring up the screencast here for you. And I should be able to just, I already have my terminal up. And all I need to do is go here and let's see what is that. It's buried deep within my domain tree here. Much deeper than would be ideal. Android programming in Bitcoin. Someone on Periscope asked me what I think of Android programming in Bitcoin. Android, obviously, if you're doing mobile, then it's very important. And if you already have front-end web development, using your HTML and your CSS and your JavaScript, you can code Android already. You can already have an Android app. You can already have an iPhone app. Those languages are extendable in that way. So it's important to keep that in mind when you're looking for your technology investments. If you can bring in a team of agile front-end web developers, get them. Throw a real quality photographer / graphic designer in the mix, and you will just run forever. So anyway, where was I? CD space / users Ben. I think I keep that here and here, and this is where it differs because it's actually under a Ben Live subdirectory, and then I have a domain. Then I think I have another subdirectory. Too many subdirectories on this particular file. Tutorials, I think I got there. Is it valid? Yes, it's valid, so I got there, right? All right, so from here, I think I just need to run node and app.js. Cool. And let me see, it should bring up my live socket. I don't have anyone logged in, but I think it'll bring up a listener. Yes, there we are. Cool. So I am, in fact, running my own local host right now, utilizing Node as a web server. And I can punch that over here, and I think it should be the last tutorial. So let me bring that up. Localhost, it's running on the 3000 port. And that is redirector mappings. Cool, that came up. As you can see, there's no styling. Well, you can't see this on Periscope, but if you're on Periscope, look at benlive.tv, and you can see us there. We've actually embedded the live feed in. So maybe you're joining us on the YouTube, that's cool. Maybe you're joining us on benlive.tv, that's fine too, because we're streaming live through the domain, and you'll see more of that, more live interactivity coming real soon. Because I'm showing you here, this is the redirector tutorial that I took. This is the product of the tutorial through SitePoint, and this is how I learned Node. There's my local IP, which probably familiar to you. 192.168. So a lot of people running on those, right? So essentially, right here we have an alias and a URL entry, and this is all backed by a database. So here, let me switch back to my domain and jump to the screencast. So I'll put the screencast on the big screen for you there, and I'll be in the small box, right? Hi, little guy down here. Okay, so that's just a mappings readout. But what I can show you here is if we wanted to do an update, say we want to add Bing. So we're going to add the alias of Bing, and then we're going to give that the URL. And unfortunately, I don't have, I didn't enhance this at all. So we have to full type out the URL in order for it to work properly on the redirector, because we don't have any of that done on the coding side, which, it's all possible. It just wasn't part of this tutorial. So we have the bing.com, and we're going to add that mapping. And you can see that happens in live time. And so what's happening in the background is entirely JavaScript. Obviously, this is an HTML input form here, but just as a basic table there, it's no CSS, no real layout work, no design work, just defaults. And HTML framework just to allow the input and the output there. But what you're seeing is a Node.js full stack JavaScript database, the NEDB. So we have a number of middleware applications that we installed there. So through our Node package manager, we installed, I think we first used connector, and then connector extends into Express. And then from Express, we had to utilize socket.io. Adding socket.io allows us that sort of real-time connectivity. In fact, I mean, I'm seeing there's a readout there on the terminal that I'm not going to, yeah, I don't have that one patched through because that'd be a real fun and exciting thing. Watch me type in the terminal. But here you can see the output there on the Bing, and actually if I mouse over, I think it's might be on the screencast there, but it's probably cut off at the bottom there, but it's localhost 3000/Bing. So we've created this brand new alias, this brand new location, where if this were live on the domain right now, it would be benlive.tv/Bing, created in real time, where we can click on that and then it redirects to Bing. And so it's a simple bit of functionality there. But if you're familiar with front-end web development and you're familiar with full stack web development especially, then you understand that bringing these components of the application under one language it's really good. And Node is stable now. So that is a recent development. I mean, it's a few months in the works now, I think. Probably like 6 months. I don't know. It's stable. So it's been a little while, not too long, but long enough. Node is stable, and so we're going to do our rebuild with that. I mean, it's convenient timing for us. Maybe you're a little bit farther along in your development life cycle with what you're working on, but you should consider moving forward. I mean, if you have JavaScript on your team already, this is going to be a quick application. My experience with JavaScript is novice level. I've used it in actual client work, but on the interaction level, on the client side, front end, and I prefer to code unique solutions rather than just bring in a package wholesale, unless you're already utilizing a lot of it and it's not just a one-off situation. You've decided that this is the language you're going with. In our situation here, we're probably going to bring in Angular just because that's what is working well, bringing Node through right now. I don't know. I mean, I'll look into other solutions and other packages, but before I start to get too heavy into which front-end JavaScript library do I want to work on, I want to get this back-end framework built with the Node, and it's fun stuff. So there's a SitePoint tutorial track, and that is going to be it's a JavaScript novice to ninja, and so that's the plan. I'm going to look through that. I'm going to get to that today. I'm actually not going to spend as much time broadcasting because I'm just going to move directly into that. And that's what I've been doing the last few days. The Node, it's kind of misleading because I see it's like, oh, it's 20 minutes. Well, that's the total length of the video. But in order to actually follow along and code it in and type it and really learn the stuff, the guy's going quite fast. And so I stop, pause it and type it in, catch up, look over, make sure I pause it when he's got the screen up that I want to see, and go in that way. So it takes a little bit longer as I go through each one, but I mean, you can see the certification, which I can bring this up for you. We see this all the time. I show you my profiles on a regular basis here. This is going to be linked in. It's just a second there. I actually see the console's registering that I moved away from that application. It's no longer an active application. All right, so we're going to scroll down here on my Ben McNulty LinkedIn and get down to the certification section, because you will see now, there we go, in addition to a food protection manager, nationally certified, I have my introduction to Agile and Scrum, introduction to Git, and now a Node.js, an introduction. That is the certification that is a direct pipeline through there. That's why I think SitePoint is a great service. If you are already, if you have front-end web development as part of your team, SitePoint is definitely worth looking into. So, yeah, right there, certified Node.js and introduction. I'm going to do the JavaScript novice to ninja because I feel like that's really going to help me to extend that. And moving forward, I mean, now that I have that one implementation, I've worked through one implementation of a web server and a database and, input output there. This is real time. I mean, if you were to suggest something in the comments there, I would be able to put in real time a new alias and a new URL for you that you would then be able to go. I mean, obviously not. This isn't live at the moment, but were this in a live scenario, you would be able to go to the domain, and from that domain, you would just be able to type in that new alias, that newly created alias, and that's a way that we can allow users to, create this sort of public community space and maintain a reasonable level of security at the same time. You want to have public access, and you want to have user authentication and those sorts of processes that, using the full stack JavaScript solution, it's going to click through quicker than they'll see. And you'll see these just module after module applied. And it's, it works. It's helpful. It's really helpful. If you're already familiar with JavaScript, and if you're not, you go ahead and get familiar with JavaScript, because it's one of the easier, more accessible languages for beginning programmers. And it is what makes the interactivity. I mean, if you're familiar with front-end web development, then you realize, the sort of Ajax and the things that would go into making this possible. It's all really simple. The NEDB is a subset of Mongo database. So NEDB will actually extend seamlessly into Mongo database as the scale of the project increases. So this is ideal for prototyping. And that single language throughout makes, working with the code in a team environment much easier. You would think, you could have people at different levels, revising the code as such once they understand the functionality that's being achieved there. And this is running locally while I'm broadcasting, and there's nothing to this application. It's pretty simple, but let's add in. I mean, anything. You can make them just real simple ones too, and we can just have T, but it can actually be Twitter. Right? So you can actually have whatever your domain is /T now in real time connects with twitter.com. Just that simple. I mean, you can see that's my homepage because I'm already logged in. And it did a little redirect there to go through the secure layer because I didn't enter in the S initially. But had I been explicit, we would have seen it go even quicker. I can go back to here for you. And if you're familiar with the developer tools, and if you're not familiar with the developer tools, but you're a developer, you should be. Because when we utilize Google Chrome, we have some real valuable developer tools available to us. So let me go ahead and I'll switch back to the large screen streamcast there. The large screen screencast. A little bit of redundancy. I'll switch to the large screen on the YouTube for you on benlive.tv and go over here to the redirector app that I built. Followed a tutorial. It's not my original work by any means. And let me go ahead and just hit refresh there. And we can see that network activity comes right up. And this little icon here, device mode, that's a really interesting aspect. So we can stop the recording, the network log, we can clear that out, we can interact with it there. But this right here, this is really helpful for anyone in front-end development or at social media management even, because this allows us to see what any particular device is seeing. I mean, this is an iPhone 5 in landscape. If you're familiar with the broadcast, you know I'd be looking at that. But here we have the Kindle Fire HDX in landscape, in portrait. So we know how it's going to render. We know what it's going to look like on these different devices without having to have any additional software, let alone just a set of devices on the ready, but no additional software. I mean, this is built into Google Chrome. This is just a developer option within Google Chrome. And, not doing much on this particular application because, it's just a little bit of a table readout for a database. It's very simple. Yeah, so I properly spoof it. So look at that, even though I'm running on a local server, I'm creating the illusion of having all of these devices connected to it. It's really cool, right? So we go over to Ben Live here, and this is our actual minimum viable product, our current domain, and I'll go back to that more tools, and I'll bring up our developer tools. Let's see that comes up. And you can see it actually doesn't display very well in landscape mode, which is, I found that out using this the other day. But at this point, I've already moved on to the redesign, so this is just kind of hanging out here. And we can see there's a lot of errors it's throwing here because of this just bulk code that we import. So let's go to, an iPad. Let's put our iPad into landscape mode. Give it a refresh. So I mean that's functional, right? Somebody's got their iPad, or iPad, some form of iPiddle. They've got their iPad mini. They've got it in portrait mode. It'll look like that. It's fine. It'll work, right? So we're going to use some responsive CSS design. We're going to apply that. I'm going to build a little bit of interactivity in there for you and have a completely redesigned domain as we move into the 2016 and so for those of you keeping score, Comcast stays strong for, I don't know, 2 days straight on the kitty cam. Can't broadcast Ben Live for 3 hours. Not that I was even going to do 3 hours today, but that's all right. I was just talking about season 2, and hopefully, hallmark for season 2, I'd like to be our refined network. So as we move into the Christmas season, already did some work. Did a ghostwriting job to pay for a new network. So that'll be fun, right? We'll have a new modem and a hardwire connection. And I'm thinking we're probably just going to get another router at this point. We're going to look into a new router. From the camera side of it, I might not end up doing a camcorder. Now, camcorder might be later on. And we'll have an HDMI capture card would be the goal. But I'm gonna need probably gonna need a more powerful system, at least graphics processing wise, when we get to that point. So before then, I think I could probably just go the direct USB solution and come in somewhere in the sub 100 range. So we'll see. Yeah. Either way, you're going to see some video enhancements. You're going to see some network quality enhancements. The encoder is still going to be running on the same machines. We probably won't be able to do much for the resolution and the frame rate, but the overall, excuse me, the overall capture quality. Meerkat gets some views, it seems, so we're gonna give that a go and switch over from Periscope to Meerkat just for this current feed. Yeah, nobody was really tuning in on Periscope at that moment. So. Gonna check out Meerkat for you. Right, what's happening live on Ben Live. Let's do some emojis. What do we like? We like to do the TV. phone. Is that the right order? No. What do we like? Maybe laptop, phone, TV. Live on Ben Live. Let's just stream it. Go ahead, Meerkat. There's my controls. Switch it around there. You can actually see the shirt on that one. So if you're joining us on Meerkat, you can check out benlive.tv. And you can see us live on YouTube as well. So there you go. Bringing in Meerkat, part of our growing social media management strategy here at benlive.tv. And, you know, your growth hacker doing a little bit of growth hacking. I don't know how I feel about the vertical Meerkat. Kind of an awkward angle there. Oh. I don't know. From the news desk. Definitely looks better on YouTube. So if you're joining us at the moment, maybe you want to check out benlive.tv. And in fact, if you go to the domain now, you'll see us streaming live. And that's going to be an ongoing feature there. I got the autoplay turned on, but I'm not going to have that moving forward. With the next iteration of the domain, you're going to see the the optional sort of, when you get there, you can play the live feed, or you can interact with some packaged content, or I don't know. I'd like to have some sort of community building, maybe just a message board, sounding board at first, just something with that real time interactivity, the immediate engagement possibilities that Node opens up. It's gonna be small scale. Our viewership and our traffic doesn't get to the levels that I'm paying $5 a month for hosting right now, so if I have to bump up to the next level eventually, hopefully we'll have some YouTube monetization to back it up, or some contributions or something. For now, we're okay with the traffic we get. We're all right. Gonna try it out. Node will help. It's all gonna be JavaScript. You're just gonna be getting JavaScript files delivered that will use this express JavaScript notation and just implement. These they're basically HTML files. Just build the framework there. It's the model view controller. Yeah. I gotta get a coaster. I don't like the water rings from that cup on this lovely news desk. Can't see that on Meerkat. Sorry, Meerkat. benlive.tv. You can see the news desk on the wide angle shot on YouTube. So yeah, tonight I'm gonna be broadcasting live on the mobile networks there. Probably gonna be on Periscope. Sorry, Meerkat, but I have more followers there. We just started. We're new to this one here. So maybe both, but going to go out to the Night of Lights. So if you want to check that out, at Ben McNulty on Twitter. So whichever network I'm on, you'll see it on there. Right? I'll show you the Night of Lights in St. Augustine, downtown. It'll probably be about 7. Maybe around 6 or so for the real lights. Between 6 and 7. I don't know. We'll see what's going on at 7. On the Bayfront. Gonna go down to the St. Augustine Bayfront. No big deal. Just hang out at the seawall about 7 o'clock. Sounds fun, right? Look at the lights. Look at the Christmas lights. So if you're in the area, and you already know what I'm talking about, you should definitely be there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you should find out. Mainstream media is not going to tell you about it, so if you're not getting the emails, then benlive.tv. I guess I'm going to have to start telling you. It's a Bernie meetup. Bernie meetup. St. Augustine, downtown. Seawall. If you're into that sort of thing. I mean, I've been saying it all along. Trump versus Bernie, Bernie versus Trump. 2016, let's go down with the ship. Everybody's worst nightmare. Let's have at it. Red versus blue battle royale. Why not? I mean, this is better than Clinton Bush, right? It's way better than Clinton Bush. Bernie versus Trump? Come on. Much better storyline. No old money. That's all I care about, honestly. At this point, no old money. It's time to just send a message to the Wall Street folks and the old money and say, nope, not interested. So if your message is Bernie, send it. If your message is Trump, send that. Whatever. Just send them the message. Nope, not yours. Not for sale. And then have it out. You know? What's the worst that could happen? Fascism? Yes, that's exactly the worst that could happen. Oh, man. Apparently. But, hey, that's what the crazy extremists in our country want, so at least we give them a voice in the political process so they don't feel the need to hurt one another. Hey, you're in Washington, D.C. You're like center ring of the circus, huh? Awesome. That's, I don't know. I don't know how to help him at this point. You know, I'm just really concerned for the conscience. Like, it must be very difficult if any of these people have consciences at this point, or have a conscience. But anyway, so yeah, Bernie versus Trump. I'll be at the Bernie meetup down there in St. Augustine. So I don't know, got an email. So we got to start building. I saw an article said that Bernie's not allowed access to the DNC voter lists because of some nonsense technicality. I guess there's some computer security lapse where there was a drop in the firewall and the inter-campaign sort of private access, and somebody on Bernie's side said, hey, this is down, you should probably fix that. And of course now it's been decided by the clearly in the camp of Clinton DNC and the formerly friend of the show, Wasserman Schultz, that they're going to punish Bernie until he can prove that he's destroyed something he doesn't have. So, until he can prove a negative, he doesn't get the voter rolls there. He doesn't get the access to the DNC's data. So we're going to go make our own data. Let's go make our own data. Let's go make our own data. It's fine. Whatever. You can have my email. I'm going to go geotag that. I'm going to be out there geotagging. I'm going to get you some GPS data. You know where I am. It's fine. It's no secret. I'm live on the internet. Ben Live at Ben McNulty. I've been real name on the internet since back when your parents told you not to. Yeah. Fine. St. Augustine. It's been where Western civilization's been hanging out for about 450 years. The Bridge Alliance, Castillo de San Marco, right there at the seawall. So that's where the Bernie meetup is. About 7 o'clock. Meet us down there. Trump versus Bernie. Bernie versus Trump. Let's have it out. Let's do this thing. Right? So there's going to be a lot more of that going into season 2. But in the short run, the broadcast schedule is going to be a bit intermittent here. As we get into the end of the year, it's going to be kind of a random, hey, here's an update. Oh, wait, look what I'm doing here. Look what's going on there, As I move forward in this JavaScript novice to ninja path, there will probably be some fun tangibles to share with you there. So I'll be bringing that through. And maybe you'll see some ongoing enhancement stuff for the broadcast as I bring in the new tech, because we have gotten some holiday funding, holiday round of funding. Bring in the loot. BenLive.tv. If you want to put money in my PayPal, by all means do. The links are right there on the domain, right on the homepage. Probably going to put them in a little bit more obscure location next time, or maybe just a little bit more. Probably not going to have the please donate $10,000 right there on the front page on the redesign. So if you have... If you're really efficient, if you're determined to efficiently give me $10,000 right now, $10,000 link is there. So it might not be there on the next one. And then how will I ever buy the yacht that anybody who's been following the broadcast knows? Obviously, Ben Live. I don't want a yacht. Food, water, shelter, access to information. Just the illusion of upward mobility. Because we didn't really have a strong system of upward mobility ever, really. I think it's always been kind of an illusion. But now, no. Now they don't even pretend. That's not cool. Let's pretend we have a middle class again. I mean, let's face it. Let's sit down and have an honest conversation about the fact that money is just a made-up hocus pocus game, and we should play at a level that allows us to afford to eat. If we're going to work for a living, we should be able to survive, and it's all just a made-up game, so we can decide that a person's living is worth a living, and that's okay. That's equitable. It'll be fine. The whole thing won't fall apart. Don't let the people with all the money who are determined to make it fall apart if you so much as insist on equitable pay. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them lie. Bernie's the popular opinion. So don't get me wrong. There is a demographic that Trump is definitely mobilizing and revitalizing, breathing fresh energy into a interesting section. So, I'd really like to see the analytics. I would really like to see the analytics for his web domain. I think that'd be fun. Trump, release the analytics. We don't want to see your tax data. We just want to see your web traffic. That's what I'm really curious about. Because, although, I mean, the guy thinks he can close off parts of it. That's insane. I'm sorry, but that's insane. If you really think that you have the ability to just close off parts of the internet, then you weren't watching the YouTube broadcast. You should join in to benlive.tv right now, and I can show you again how I was hosting my own web server using just a few JavaScript files that I learned how to code in overall probably like 2 work days worth of study. So, not a lot of investment there. Yeah. I don't know what he thinks he's going to do, but yeah, I guess you cut off their communications if you level the place. I'm pretty sure that's the plan. I mean, the other one, the guy who's allegedly the sensible opinion on the red team is talking about carpet bombing the place. And I'm pretty sure in America, generally, we try not to talk about wanting to carpet bomb in like a, what's a civilian casualty here, there, everywhere? Who cares about it? We're supposed to care about that. The Geneva Conventions care about that. Let's not go on a. If we're going to get into World War III, we've pretty much decided that we're headstrong, determined to have World War III here. Let's not be Germany. Let's not have the United States be the Germany equivalent for this go. All right? Let's not do that. Let's not be the fascists who are locking up anyone of Middle Eastern descent because we're scared. Don't do that. Don't scapegoat an entire people for what might be more of a self-inflicted sort of ideal. We do a lot. We meddle, and Here at BenLive.tv, I find it's best not to, dabble in the affairs of others. But apparently on a government level, we think that's fun. So, yeah, it looked like they were having fun over there in the sand, so we just wanted to, build some castles. Just playful children. We sure do love our dinosaur juice. BenLive.tv. What can you do, right? So, tonight, I'm going to be doing some meat space marketing. Going to be seeing a bit of a light round 2, not a full round 2. I mean, I did go to an actual in-person event for the leading red team candidate. So for the blue team, I will show up when he shows up. Believe you me. We'll see what we can do to be there. That'll be a fun one. Meat Space Marketing 101. It's available. It's recorded if you want to see. But I'm wearing the shirt. I'll try not to get it too funked up during the broadcast, because I will be wearing it out there in the meat space. So if you see this guy wearing this shirt out there by the Bridge of Lions tonight in St. Augustine, Florida at approximately 7 p.m., you should say hello, particularly if you're a Bernie supporter. If you're there because you got the email, stop in and say hello. I'm not a divisive sort of, we live in reality here, okay? And the reality is, the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about Bernie. They do not want you to hear about his existence. So I want you to at least know his name. I think there is an obligation for all independent journalist type satirical pantomime of realities. I don't know. It's more of a mixed media. But whatever you think your broadcast is, whatever Ben Live is to you, and whatever you are to the world, if you think Bernie is a good idea, you should make Bernie a part of it, because the mainstream and the monies does not want you to know he exists. And so I think we all have an obligation to make sure that everyone knows who exists. We might be heading to a four-way election in America. You hear me? You believe that? You think that's possible? Meerkat, YouTube, you think that's possible? I'm telling you. If you're not familiar with Bernie Sanders, you should be, because he's the independent senator from Vermont. So when you've already got 2 million independent contributions behind your name, you don't need the DNC. And when the DNC is saying, hey, you can't have our data, well, we can go make our own data, and then it's not yours, it's just ours. So, hey, Bernie, you got some money? I want to work for you. I'll be your growth hacker. Hello, Bernie Sanders. My name's Ben McNulty. I would like to work for your campaign, because somebody's got to do this. This is ridiculous. So there you go. That's where, I'll put my mouth and my money where my money and my mouth are. All right. Got to. I'm sorry. I've been trying to do the just on the fence, libertarian, liberal, everybody's the same. When we come around to the other side, we all have like these same basic needs. But that's just not going to work, because the blue party establishment, the blue team, has just decided that they don't even want the world to know Bernie exists. And they're just, they're going to hide the debates, and they're going to put everything behind Hillary. And that's just not who people want. I'm sorry. That's just old money, old politics. It's the same old lies and spinning and nonsense. Like, we've seen it our whole lives. No thanks. We know what that brand of politics smells like, and it's foul, and we're not interested. But this Bernie fella, if the blue team wants to stay relevant, they should probably go ahead and saddle up now, because I'm telling you, the independent senator from Vermont with 2 million individuals behind him does not need a party backing. And so there's candidate number 3. And come on. If the red team doesn't let the Donald be their whatever it is they call their figurehead these days, then there is a huge base there that they've been stoking and provoking and manipulating and extorting and exploiting for a few decades now. And them folks ain't going to be happy. And they will very easily rally around that crazy billionaire who, obviously can do his own thing. So that's four-way. It could be a four-way 2016. And with that kind of possibility, with World War III on the horizon and 4 possibilities, viable candidates for the election, let's do this thing. Absolutely. I want Bernie. There you go. That's it. Fine. Sorry. I want Bernie. Hope that doesn't hurt your feelings. I just think that's what we need right now. I think that's the direction we need to go. I think we need to sit down and have an honest discussion about the actual issues. We need to address the economy from a realistic standpoint, not from a bought and paid for mouthpiece for the existing power structure that has stolen this, hierarchical system of oppression. It's like they've just stolen all the resources and built a slave system out of it, and they're surprised that no one wants to play their game. Surprise! That ain't fun. So, Bernie. Sorry. Hope that doesn't hurt your feelings. But, so season 2, 2016. I was trying to do the middle of the road thing. I really was. I was trying to kind of fill the vacuum there left by Colbert, because you need to have like a logical, reasoned approach to the circus show that the red team is putting on. Somebody has to just, say what they're really doing and address what they're actually talking about doing. They're talking about shutting off the internet like there's a switch somewhere, and they're talking about, genocide. They're publicly talking about genocide, essentially, right? It's insanity, but I'm telling you, that's what the red team's looking at now. They want to have a full on, oh yeah, no, we're definitely a theocracy. Yeah, oh yeah, we've always been a theocracy, right? Or were we the one that was established on the point that it's not a theocracy? Was that the whole point? I get confused. History's confusing. I only went to a public school. Who am I to, at socialism right there in action? I went on public roads to a public school and got my socialist status indoctrination right there. And so we don't even need to go into the other side of it. We don't even need to break down what are clearly lies and distortions about real history that have been implanted in all of our minds from a young age. We don't even need to get to that point. If we're just like playing along with the system and we're bowing and we're marching in line, they're not even letting us have Bernie. They're like, nope, you get Hillary. Sorry, that's the one you get. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Even if I'm like, putting on a blue shirt, I might not be wearing a blue uniform. I might not be on the field with the blue team, but, I got the colors on, got the jersey in the stands or whatever, No party affiliation, but come on. Come on. Yeah. What else is a liberal libertarian to do? Yeah, right? I think that the government can actually be a beneficial function if it focuses its resources on the things we actually need. Also, it protects us from those people who think that no government would work, because it wouldn't. Because people are crazy. Bonkers. It'd be nice. Like, I'm an idealist, right? I would really like to see this sort of equitable share utopian future. But I live in reality, and that's not the way it goes. Because we can't even, direct democracy doesn't even work here. Representative democracy is just, if you haven't seen Idiocracy, you should enjoy the fine film Idiocracy and really take in the beginning premise of it. What builds that world? Because we're a lot farther along the path to Idiocracy than we should be at this point. It's not fun. But so let's try to make the best of it. And let's get Bernie in there to kind of help us get an equitable share, $15 minimum wage, actual Social Security that is held sacred and not robbed from, both hands. And, I don't know, build a strong, stable economy that is a mutually beneficial investment for everybody. Just have a mutual investment in it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, if you want to work, there's not going to be a ceiling. We don't want to have a ceiling. If you want the yachts and you want to give up your life for the yacht, that's fine. But you can't expect everyone else to give up their lives for your yacht. That's excessive. And that's what's being allowed right now. Then there's a lot of prostitutes and drugs on the yacht, and that's awkward for everyone involved as well. Because the people who are claiming to be, the ones who brought it in, okay? The red team was insistent. Back in 2000, you might remember, the red team insisted that Santa Claus was on their side. And how can they also be the primary defenders of what are clearly the minions of the devil on Wall Street? They are clearly doing the devil's work on a daily basis. Usury out the whee-hoo! To just tip that iceberg. So yeah, it's just really awkward, if you're raised a fiscal conservative and you're raised to believe in the sort of, I don't know, traditional upbringing. Sure, fine. Middle class white privilege through and through. Why not? If you get it, don't give it up. Ride that boat. I'll take that. I'll take the yacht if I inherit the yacht. No, by all means, if you inherit a yacht, take the yacht. But let your friends ride on the yacht with you, For shame. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of that's coming in season 2. We're going to see the domain updated there. We're going to become more of an interactive engagement. The benlive.tv is going to become the focus. Right now, directing people to the live feed link. If you go to benlive.tv and you're watching the live feed directly embedded, that's awesome. But if you click on the live feed link, that's even better because that's where the YouTube monetization is right now. moving forward into season 2, we're going to have more of an ongoing interactive engagement and probably going to just want to run numbers on the domain. So keep you on the domain and, we'll generate some revenue somewhere. I'll put some short videos through and just say, hey, if you share this and engage with this, you'll make the benlive.tv experience you're engaging with possible. And just do it that way. It'll just be, advertising is such a rough subject because in the world of the internet, when you're an independent content creator and you're a multimedia outlet that doesn't have the backing of major financial outlets, and when you speak against things like major financial outlets, then you're really not going to get the small business loan down at the corner. And you don't want it. You shouldn't want it. I don't want it. But, food, water, shelter, access to information, resources, that sort of thing. It's got to be a part of it. We got to figure out some fair and upfront and honest way to monetize. It might be selling cat toys made out of yarn. I don't know. Maybe it'll be selling cat toys made out of yarn for whatever you can afford to pay. Make it a game. How much can you make me have to pay in taxes? Ha ha ha. I believe in a government that takes care of its sick and its hungry. So make me pay more taxes by increasing my wages. Haha, that'll show me. Raise my income up to the $250,000 to where I'll have to vote red because it'll be in my best interests. I've told you, I vote with my wallet. I vote with my financial interests, and I don't make $250,000 a year. And from what I can tell, the red team is wholesale decided that they support the financial interests of those who make $250,000 or greater a year. And that's fine if that's the line they want to draw. I think the numbers are against them. But whatever, they've decided money controls elections. So, okay, they can do that. I don't make $250,000 a year as much as I'd like to. So I can't vote that way. I need some other option. Sorry. So yeah, if that bothers you, then make me a $250,000. Push my income to the $250,000 a year level through your continued contributions on PayPal. I mean, hey, make a one-time donation of multi-millions and just force me to just be taxed out the wazoo. So the very next day, you're going to see a benlive.tv where I'm like, oh my God, I worked so hard to earn all of this money that someone handed to me. And the government had the audacity to take some of it because I live in this country and utilized the public resources to get to where I am today. What a bunch of jerks. Wait, how much do I get to keep? Yeah, I'll be all right. Get a spreadsheet going. When your budget line, and this is not a joke. This is not an exaggeration. If you ask for permission, I can show you. It's a Google Doc. It's a public sheet. But if you go to the project outline PDF, there's a link to a budget, and you can't see it, but if you ask for permission, you get to look at it. And there's a line item there, and it is Ben's Freedom, $300 a week. Because I'm a budget ninja by necessity. That's what I survive on. And so that's what really makes the overhead for benlive.tv just negligible. That being said, the real resource we deal with is time here. And I'm approaching 1 hour on the broadcast today. And instead of going until noon, as I'm sometime wont to do, today I'm just going to end it here because I really want to get into this JavaScript work. I really want to start working on some tangible, as tangible as digital goods can be, but tangible enhancements for benlive.tv. I want to get the Node.js kernel out there. Right now we have an HTML5 boilerplate so that I just have full functionality. I have my minimum viable product, full functionality out there and live. And that's what we've been working with through the last few months, through season 1. Moving into season 2, I want to have the domain be the focus. And so in order to get there, I have to get that Node kernel live, active on the domain and running. So in order to do that, I need some more JavaScript work. And yeah, I could sit here and tell you about it, or I could sit here and make it happen. So I'm going to sit here and make it happen. It's been fun. I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, folks on Meerkat. Thanks for tuning in on the YouTubes. If you're new to the program and you're unfamiliar, that's BenLive, BenLive.tv. I think I have a business card right here. Let me make that a little bit easier for you, Meerkat. That's BenLive.tv, your growth hacker. Sorry, that's backwards because it's on this camera. If you can't read it backwards, you probably aren't going to be interested in what we talk about. Because reading backwards is the very, very least you can do. If you're thinking in the ways that we think. Right? So, thank you for tuning in. Might broadcast tomorrow, might not. Might broadcast the next day. I don't know. I'm just doing what I want for the rest of the year because season 1 is just kind of fizzling to an end here. Season 2 is going to be the next year kickoff, fun times. So I'm just going to be hitting you up with some status reports, and it'll just be a check-in sort of thing. I mean, BenLive.tv, if you read the project outline, at its heart, Ben Live Broadcast is the check-in for Forgotten Genius Productions. That's all it is. Just letting you know, hey, what we're working on, what we're doing. The fun political discussion side of it and all that stuff is sort of tangentially just what is digressed, essentially. So if you want some more, go to benlive.tv, click on the live feed link, go to the YouTubes. There's over 100 hours of broadcasts. So more than enough. Thanks for tuning in, Meerkat. It's been fun. Tune in tonight. Right? Around 6 or so, we'll be doing Night of Lights downtown St. Augustine, and around 7 or so, there might be some Bernie folk out there who want to say hi as well. So we'll see. And if you're in the area, that's where I'll be, hanging out at the seawall by the fort. Bye, Meerkat. Yes, we want to end the stream, and gonna say bye to you as well. You probably want to check in on the kitties if you weren't watching the kitty cam. Looks like they're playing a little bit on the bed, but they've left the light on. So that's nice of them. Good deal. I'll just go ahead and pull them up there. Oh, Ben Live Kitty Cam. I'm going to end this broadcast and then I'll bring the kitty cam up for you shortly thereafter. I'm probably just going to do some JavaScript stuff here for a couple hours and then boot up the kitty cam. Let the computer get a little bit of a rest for the encoder. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and catch us on Periscope and probably Meerkat and some other stuff. I don't know what on the mobiles, on every social network. It's all on the mobile. So I'll be out there, out by the fort tonight. Thanks for tuning in, YouTube. You want a little bit of music before we go? Here's some music. Play you out.